Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's do some skull crushers. No. Okay. Alrighty. So, if you tuned in last time, you kind of already know what we're going to talk about today. But um, basically, we are going to try and expand upon this idea. Um, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I think people can be kind of you can like separate people that go to the gym in two categories. And we kind of talked about aspects of this before where we talked about, going to a certain place in your mind and using that as some form of fuel or drive. Oh, sorry. So tired today. Um, but I think there's something to be said about the distinction between someone that comes to the gym. I guess like not distinction, but like I think there's correlation. The correlation between someone that has gone through something that is quite difficult emotionally and the results they get in the gym. I think it's pretty rare that you find those people that are driven to the extent that they push themselves in the same way as someone that is trying to use the gym as an outlet. Um, Like I guess in a way it's sort of like how you would describe someone that's like new to a sport compared to someone that's been winning for a long period of time. Like you could argue that the person that is new to the sport and is a rookie is more hungry than the person that is, a multiple championship winner, because the championship winner doesn't have anything to prove, right? He's already made his mark, he's made a legacy for himself. Whereas the rookie hasn't done any of that, right? He hasn't experienced any of that. And so as a result, he's more hungry for that experience. Um, and I think in the same way, someone that is emotionally struggling or mentally struggling, when they come to the gym and they find that it's an outlet for those thoughts and those feelings, it leads them to push it. It leads to them pushing themselves much harder than someone that's just coming to the gym because they want to be healthy. Um, Now we can argue about whether or not those motivations are healthy for you mentally, right? Like I would in no way encourage people to find a way to hurt yourself or experience pain and have that be your primary drive for the gym, because obviously like that's not what it's supposed to be. It just so happens that this space is a space where you can kind of, well, I guess like this space, much like many sports, is a way for you to have some form of outlet for your frustration and have some form of outlet for whatever you may not talk about. And so as a result, we have a lot of people that have the same story, right? They're struggling emotionally, they're struggling mentally, um, with like personal issues or relationship issues or whatever the case. And because they have those struggles, they come to the gym and they put the energy that they would normally put into, maybe crying, into lifting weights, into making sure that they, uh, that they push themselves. I can personally attest to this. I struggled with uh, thoughts and, all those things. And I came to the gym. I tell my friends this. I came to the gym and I pushed myself simply for the sake of hurting myself. It wasn't because I wanted to grow or because I felt that I needed to get stronger. It was because I wanted to prove that I was worth something, that like I could endure the pain, that I could endure, whatever torture I put myself through. And that was simply it. It wasn't because of the it wasn't because of what I had no aspirations to be uh, bigger. I just wanted to be worth something. Um, and looking back on it, I would argue that, I guess like there's two ways you could argue this, or two ways you could talk about this. One is doing something like that, it might carry you a long way initially, but it requires you to find a way into the disciplined lifestyle for it to continue to be beneficial to you. Because I think there's only so much you can do in the gym until you, one, either you injure yourself, right? Because if you're training for the wrong reasons, just training for the pain, you're gonna eventually, tire your body out. There's only so much you can do. Um, or two, or sorry, you'll tire your body out, or because you're not in that disciplined mentality initially, um, you'll, what's it called? You'll give up because you've maybe you've healed or you've overcome those thoughts and the gym isn't exactly where you want to be because it doesn't give you the same relief, I guess, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. No, I guess those are the two ways that you can talk about it. And the first way, like I guess would be like, um, or sorry, if we talk about it in the first reason, right, that I gave, where it's like, you'll injure yourself. We want to remind ourselves that this is something that we want to do from a longevity standpoint, not something that's going to be maybe 5 years, but something that'll affect our life 20, 30, 40 years down the road. And then I guess the better point for the second option would be we want to develop motivations or uh, core drivers that are going to be long lasting. I would much rather have had a journey where maybe I didn't start off as strong, but I didn't have to struggle with, discipline and making sure that I was still wanting to come to the gym, um, and maybe hadn't gotten as much progress and not, torn up my body as much, then, the result that I did get, which was maybe 2, 3 years of extremely intense training that really didn't benefit me much. Because when I look back on it now, that I'm a smarter person, training wise, I understand that not like a lot of the stuff I was doing was pretty stupid. And I was doing it for the sake of just wanting to feel, that sensation of relief rather than actually improving myself. So I think, I guess the point of this video is if you are someone that is trying to use this place as an outlet for those emotions, I'm not going to say don't do that because I know how much that outlet was a big barrier into maybe the negative emotions or the negative thoughts that I had. I'm not going to say don't use it. But what I am going to say is this place isn't the place to remedy that. Um, I find that the more that I look at how I healed from what I did, uh, the more I come to understand that a lot of the work that I put in was outside of the gym, was me sitting with my own thoughts and understanding whether or not those thoughts were warranted, those thoughts actually reflected my self-worth. Whether or not I actually truly believed those thoughts. Because a lot of the time, we kind of go down this rabbit hole of negativity, especially if you're in a space that's, maybe not so great. It's very easy to kind of just let your thoughts take you, right? That's like a rip current, right? You get caught, and then next thing you know, you're out to sea. So I would encourage you to do the work outside of the gym that you know you need to do. And I understand that it's uncomfortable to sit with those thoughts. But at the end of the day, those thoughts aren't going to go anywhere until you address them. This is not addressing them. This does not address them. This mutes those thoughts for a little bit of time, but it doesn't remedy them. And in order for you to outgrow, or in order for you to grow and to progress in the way that you want to, you have to be willing to confront the ideas in your head that may not be so comfortable. And that's okay. Having to deal with those issues is something that everyone has to deal with. And another reminder, you also don't have to confront those thoughts on your own. Reach out to someone. If you're experiencing thoughts, or if you're experiencing struggles that you don't think you can handle by yourself, find a friend. Talk to God. Talk to your parents if you have a good relationship with your parents. Talk to someone, anyone. The internet is a big place. I'm sure that there's someone that can relate to what you're experiencing. But don't keep it to yourself if it's something that is that big of a deal. Don't keep it to yourself. Humans are we're social creatures. We're not supposed to deal with um, things purely on our own. And it's not a weakness for you to ask for help. It's not weakness for you to ask for support. If anything, it shows that you're it shows that you've grown enough to understand that you do need help, that you do need some form of support, and that's okay. Everyone needs help once in a while, even champions, even champions. So hopefully that's a good way to kind of address that. Hopefully my wrist doesn't act up because this is gonna piss me off even more if it does. 9-hour work days are no joke, you guys. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have blue collar workers telling me, "You haven't worked enough if you haven't worked 60 hours a week." I see those Instagram reels. Like I always say, you guys, everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their own challenges that you have to kind of overcome. And no one's struggle is harder than another's. Everything is perspective when it comes to this stuff. But you have to be willing to work on it. As uncomfortable as it might sound, you have to be willing to put in the effort to grow. Put in the effort to remedy those things that you know shouldn't be plaguing your mind on a daily basis. Alrighty. Let's just stop. You didn't realize it. Okay. Brother. One more for camera. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the same number just because my body is having one of those days. I've already tried my best to sort of mitigate the exhaustion, but I have a feeling that it's just lack of sleep that's making things quite difficult. There we go. But it's okay. What the heck happened to this cable? There we go. Happens every so often. Just means I need to get some good rest today. We should be all good to go for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go for some volume PRs again for deadlifts. So it should be good. And I'm just gonna do. No, I gotta do 2 sets of this. Probably only do like the 1 set of triceps. Yeah. Let's do some cross ones instead after. And then We'll probably do rear delts off camera, then biceps, and we'll be done. Yeah, that's not happening today. Could feel it as soon as I picked up the weight. All right, I gotta go lower. Lower. Alrighty. Probably just do the one. We'll see. Nothing too heavy. Just a little bit less than normal. So that we're not overreaching. My abs hurt. I'm off camera. Alrighty. Second set of this. Oh, we gotta go a little lower. All right, let's check things out. All right, this is how we're looking today. If you did enjoy the content, please drop a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video.